Hello, do you speak English at all?
Yes.
Fantastic. I see you having a little laugh here, so I want to give you some information.
Sure.
Have you looked into flat Earth at all yet?
I listened to a YouTuber.
Okay. And what did they say?
I can't remember.
Okay, so they say we live on a globe, yeah? And they say the globe is 24,900 miles in circumference. But it means we're like a marble or a ball, okay?
Yes.
But it's mostly water, 72% water, okay? So we've got a ball of water. They say that you can measure the curvature of the water, the bendiness of the water, at 8 inches in a mile squared. 8 inches per mile squared, which over 100 miles is about 2 kilometers of curvature. Or maybe that's a little bit more, but it's bending. The point is that we can't measure water to be bending because water is always level on the surface, right? Your drink, your swimming pool, the lake, it's always level.
But when it would be flat, wouldn't the water go down?
Okay, but that's what we know with all the lakes is that water has to be kept inside of the lake. If you break the wall of the lake, what happens? The water's going to run away. So we think in our physics, what we can say as common sense is that our Earth has to be in some kind of lake, a big lake. And in that lake are the big continents and maybe a magnetic system that we can sail or fly east and west around and around and around in a circle. Never do we go underneath. We've never gone underneath our globe. We've never flown underneath the globe. When they say they go to the South Pole, they're not necessarily going to the center of a ball, but they're going to a central point, which isn't necessarily on a ball. It could be, if you think of a watch or a clock, it could be on the outside of the clock, and the inside is the North Pole, where the spindle is, where the beginning of the clock, where the arms come from, right? That would be the way that the Earth would work. But in reality, we can't get water to sit on a ball. It'll just run off the ball and fall to the floor. The same is true with any object. Any heavy object that we lift up is going to fall back to the floor. We lift it up, we give it energy, we release it, and it falls back to the floor. Yeah? Yeah, it's basic science that says that how do you get a rock to float like a moon, to float in the sky or in the space? And they give us these ideas of gravity, relativity, all these theories, but they're only theories, they're only ideas. They say, if that's a rock, then how is it going to stay in the sky? Well, what if it's just a light or some sort of energy system and it doesn't need to float because it's simply an energy point, it's a point of light. It's not a physical object. There's a documentary called A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Moon. This is NASA's own footage showing how they faked the moon landing. And when you realize they faked the moon landing, you start to look at the ISS, the International Space Station, a little bit more critically. And we realize that, gosh, their spacewalks, they seem to be doing it in a swimming pool because we see bubbles leaving them. Sometimes we've seen scuba divers in the shot. They've never done a 360 pan. They've never gone all the way around with a camera. So if you and I were in space, we would do all these funny twists and turns and things that people couldn't do. The spacesuit that they use, they've never tested it in a vacuum chamber on Earth. Never put a man in a vacuum chamber in a spacesuit. And yet they go out there and they do it all the time. When they do their training, they train a spacewalk in a swimming pool. And they use the same suit then that they use in space. But in the swimming pool, there should be a lot of pressure pushing on the suit. And in space, negative pressure pulling on the suit. But the suit looks identical. So what if it's all a big magic trick? And they're using all this technology to hoax us to believe that we live on a ball. Why? Because a ball gives us evolution. A ball gives us this big bang and that everything just comes out of nothing and craziness and we're lucky to be here. The other option is that on a flat Earth, or that it's an enclosed system that's been created for us, then it puts us right at the center. And we don't have to have authorities like religion and government and people like scientists who they claim they know more about the world than we do. This is the world that we live in. This is the space that we live in. This space around us. This is space. And we're meant to be able to explore this space and travel it as much as we like. We don't know what's below us. We don't know what's above us. But we think that there's maybe more land around us. And that's being hidden from us. Along with the truth of your divinity about how important you are. Because if you, like I used to believe that I came from evolution, from monkeys and from all of that story, right? I used to believe that. But it makes you think that you're insignificant. Makes you think you're unimportant. And this is very much a big this is why I go around and take my time to do this, is because when you realize that not only is it like the earth is flat, but actually it means that they've lied to us about everything about who we are and what we're meant to be achieving while we're here in this life. Not chasing after the big bucks, not chasing after, you know, all the glamour and all that, but chasing after the seeking out the soul growth, the vibration, the higher vibration. I sum it up like this. I say to people, what if the story of that guy called Jesus Christ is the story of you and you are the daughter of God. You are, like he was the son of God. Well, you were the daughter of God, and you're meant to know that, and you're meant to know that you are a divine soul here, having meant to be an exquisite experience. So that would be my summary to you, to say that not only is it possible that our entire sciences have been mistaught to us, but the truth about who you are hides behind this lie, and you need to discover that for yourselves. But only you can discover that. I'm just giving you what I think as a quick 5 minutes. Go away, enjoy your life, have a fantastic life, but do it knowing that you might be way more, and keep doing the research. Turn off the Netflix, turn off don't spend all your energy on chasing. Like if you were a guy, and I'd say, don't chase the footballers, don't chase the superstars, the movies, because you are the superstar. You're meant to be the superstar, not someone out there. You don't put someone else's name on your shirt. But we do this all the time, we put someone else's name on someone else's brand, and we take their identity rather than enriching our own. My name is Dave. Julia, lovely to meet you, Julia. Adriana. You young ladies, I hope you have a beautiful life. And just keep doing your own research, because your mind is as powerful as any other mind. Your capacity as powerful as anyone. Don't let anyone else tell you what to think. Think for yourself.
Thank you very much.
All the best, Julia. Bye-bye. Well, that was a nice interaction with those young ladies.
Yeah.